Jai Shri Krishna. The times we are living in today are very unique. We are at the cusp of transformation from every angle of human involvement as well as nature herself. Everyone is changing. The entire world is changing. And transformation is an eternal attribute of our existence. And this not only includes humans, but every single soul living in this universe is undergoing transformation continually. Here on Earth, we are at the cusp of transformation between two different eras. And I've been talking about this over my previous videos as well. Each period of 400 years, which is one of the mega cycles which I was talking about, has seen a special and unique development to itself in terms of the cultural, economic, social, and socio-economic, geopolitical, and even the natural environment that people have been living in. The reason why I am making this video today is that we are seeing unprecedented changes and entire transformation, total transformation over the last 2.5 years in particular. The reason being 2020 was an year of total transformation. 2020 was a year of what many people call an entire reset, because an era was changing during this period. 400 years had come to a close and the next period of 400 years has begun. So that's how significant the period we are living in is. Imagine 400 years. Imagine all that happened over the last 400 years, say since 1620 till 2020. The last 400 years we've seen so many things happening culturally, economically, socially, politically. Just imagine the colonialism that plagued the earth during the last 400 years, the great industrial revolutions that came in, the changes in human thinking, the rapid transformation in the way the earth was, deforestation, rapid industrialization, and significant cultural changes in the way we think, both for the good and for the bad. We've seen a lot of changes, so much that history itself has changed. But what is the most important at the cusp of transformation in each era is the beginning of those eras. For our previous era, it was around 1620 when this new 400-year period began. As we know it, the world changed around the 1620s. The world changed significantly. Today we are seeing the same change. I've talked about this from different angles in my previous videos, but today we'll focus on the climate conditions and the astrological relations to climate conditions. By looking at our past, we can understand our present as well as our future. So I make it a point to study the past, to understand the future at every turn, at every point of my analysis. We're going to be looking at the past because the past serves as a beautiful guideline to understand the present and the future. As a historian or a mathematician, anyone who looks at the events that occur in the world, any scientific field, be it biology, mathematics, or science, or even history, you will understand that there is an eternal cycle that's going on, be it with numbers, with lives, or with events itself. So if you go too deep into history, you'll eventually realize that everything is part of a great scheme of things, a great eternal cycle. And this eternal cycle has huge mega divisions and smaller divisions as well. Among these smaller divisions, we have very tiny divisions and larger divisions also, but time is one. So today, when it comes to climate conditions, we'll be looking at a few important events of the past. I will also present a very detailed analysis separately soon in the future, but for today we'll just concentrate on what is happening now. Floods rocked the world in the previous year, 2021. In the year 2022, according to some people, it's one of the most driest years in recorded history. Say for China, the Yangtze River, the longest river in Asia, has almost dried up. I mean, it has come to a level, at which the old monuments, which were, way deep under, the river level, are now, very much visible. And then further west in Europe, the most important river of Germany, be it for the environmental importance or even the economical importance, the river Rhine is also drying up very quickly, and the US is also going through a significant dry period, and California, one of the most important producers of food in the world, is also going through severe drought during this period. And according to some people, As I just mentioned earlier, this is one of the driest periods in human history. So what is this? Sudden floods just the previous year, and now we are seeing record drought. And this means a lot for food production. In my previous videos, I've emphasized on food security and how important it is for the world in the coming 20 years. Scientists and ecologists have been talking about food security as an important problem for the past many decades. But according to astrology, the most important period for food security is the next 20 years. And I've reiterated this in my previous videos as well. I would like to mention it once again. The next 20 years are going to be the most important years for food security, for human food security, and will in fact be a very important period for human evolution itself. The way we think, the way we grow our food, the way we do everything has, kind of changed in the last 400 years. And I would say, based on scientific evidence, I feel we have started looking at Earth as a machine to provide for our wants and our needs, keeping our wants first and our needs next, and keeping the wants of a few above the needs of many. The Earth has been viewed as a machine. At the last 400 years, colonialism and rapid industrialization, as I mentioned earlier, have plagued the Earth literally. So we have started looking at the Earth as a machine. The venerability of the Earth, has literally disappeared. The cultural ethos that we had, in which we respected Mother Earth, has kind of disappeared to a large extent and is only available in pockets of a few people who understand the importance of the Earth. So now it's time to understand that we are in a different era altogether. Food being guaranteed on your plate is not really that much of 100% surety for the next, say, 400 years. We're going to see a very difficult period for, the world to a large extent. It's a new era. I wouldn't say the next 400 years are going to be difficult. They're going to be wonderful golden ages as well. But the next 20 years, to be more precise, are going to be difficult in terms of food security, especially for the people who are hit hardest. Already many people are on the brink of, famine, and drought is already rampant in many parts of the world, and now it is just getting too serious, and 2022 was the driest year in particular. So in my previous video about Rahu and Mars entering the Bharani nakshatra, we talked about the different impacts that this could have. Bharani in Sanskrit means the one who holds us. Bharani, the earth, another synonym of the earth in Sanskrit is Bharani. Mars is known as so Mars is known as the scorching planet, and Rahu is also known as the malefic planet. And better than calling it a planet, I would say a graha. So Mars and Rahu, these two grahas, are known as malefic grahas. So entering the Bharani nakshatra, they've literally scorched. They've actually influenced the earth in a scorching manner. And I believe this has to do something with drought, because a similar condition was repeated somewhere around 2003, when Europe in particular saw one of its worst summers. And in Europe, even now, this is the worst summer since 1540, the year 1540. Just imagine that's 500 years back. We had a year called the year, the 1540 summer, the summer of 1540, which was one of the worst periods in Europe in terms of the heat that they faced during that time. And at that time, Europe wasn't as developed as other areas of the world. So just imagine the devastation the people of Europe would have faced during that time. It repeated once again in 2003, and again, Mars and Rahu were in the Bharani nakshatra. I don't mean to say that this combination creates drought, but this is one of the many combinations that can cause conditions which are very much unfavorable to the earth and to vegetation on the earth. And we humans are dependent on vegetation on the earth. I think we have slowly stopped realizing how dependent we are on the earth, and how important the purity of the earth is for us. And we have literally polluted the earth. It's time we realize this, understand the earth as a venerable mother, and start preserving it, and giving it nutrition, or at least taking care of it better, so that the earth can return us that betterment, not by spraying chemicals everywhere or by bringing up another green revolution. I'm afraid it might turn into a dark green revolution very soon if we do not stop it right now and think of a viable alternative to look at the earth as a mother instead of a machine. So venturing ahead, I would like to emphasize in today's video that yes, the world is changing rapidly. The Great Conjunction, which is something that has been very evident. The effects of the Great Conjunction are very evident across different areas of existence on Earth. The Great Conjunction has changed everything we see and we do to a large extent, and it is only poised to change further. And we all need to brace for what is coming, and it is coming at a very rapid pace, and there is not much time for us to, just be too lazy. We need to start growing food. We need to start at least realizing the importance of food in our lives, and not just food, pure food. And most importantly, we need to start looking at nature in the form of cycles. So now I feel the next cycle, the cycle that we're going through at present, the drought cycle, is part of a serious upheaval in our climatic conditions. So there is an upheaval, the sudden droughts and floods. This is going to continue. We're going to see more natural outbursts in the coming few years, actually, and this is for a longer term, 20-year term, in which we're going to see a lot of things which will, I would like to emphasize, this is the most important part of the video, around 2040, when we are having the next great conjunction coming up. That is when the Earth will actually witness another great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. And that is when all these events over the 20 years that have elapsed before 2040 will culminate, and we will see the strongest influence in terms of food security in the year 2040, and we all need to brace for that. And if you have children, or even if you don't have children, please think of the future generations, where they are heading. And of course, the mentality that the Earth is a machine will not serve us any good in the future, has never served us very good in the past. It's only temporary that we have experienced this sudden spurt of growth. But the moment we start thinking the Earth is a machine, that moment the Earth will stop providing us that warmth, that benevolent effect that it is giving us. And keeping that aside, I would like to say that the Earth also has cycles, and these cycles are relating to several things around the Earth, inside the Earth, as well as outside the Earth. So we need to also keep in consideration the influences that are coming from outside the Earth, different planets, because the Earth is such a tiny speck of mass in this entire universe that thinking that the Earth cannot be affected by all the other bodies around us is mere childishness. Just because we are not able to measure this influence does not mean it does not exist. So I would like to reiterate that the Earth is constantly affected by celestial bodies around it, and hence I believe that we are at a new era at this present moment based on astrological positions. 2020 was the beginning of this. Around the end of 2020 was the beginning of this new era. We've seen complete changes in human thinking itself, which is the source of every other dimension of our lives. Our thinking is the source of it, so everything has changed. And alongside, even other things like nature have also changed. So winding this video up, I would like to encourage you all to follow some sort of a solution to the problems that we are facing in terms of food security, starting at your own homes, growing your own organic and natural food, and learning how to grow food, passing this important value, not only just physical, but even an emotional and a moral value to the next generations, to associate with food as a sacred element of our lives. This is the most pressing thing that we have today, and I would certainly like to draw all of your attention towards this. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ramachandra, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha.